Chag Sameach, my beloved friends. Tomorrow night we're going to be celebrating and commemorating Shavuot, and it's a very different Shavuot than it has been in many, many years. On Shavuot morning, usually in Shul, we'll be taking out the Sefer Torah and we'll be reading the words B'chodesh HaShlishi, in the third month, B'set Yisrael b'Mitzrayim, when the Jewish people left Egypt. Bayom Hazeh, on this day, Ba'u Midbar Sinai, they came to the desert, to the wilderness of Sinai. That was Rosh Chodesh Sivan, which took place on Sunday, 3,332 years ago. And all the commentaries ask us a question. Why is it that Hashem, the Almighty being and creator of this universe, decided to give the Torah in the desert? There's many classic answers. The most classic answer is the one that just as the desert is ownerless, the desert is available to everybody. So the Torah is not the domain of any specific Jew, but rather is available for anyone who wishes to come and take part of it. I want to share with you just two other answers which were really insightful and hopefully will bring a little bit more meaning to our Shavuot and end with just one great thought. If we think about it, a desert is empty. There's no buildings, there's no factories, there's no stores, there's no towns, there's no neighborhoods, there's no currency, there's no people trying to climb a social ladder. What do we do in the desert? We ate man from heaven for 40 years. For 40 years, the Midrash tells us, you'd wear the same pair of shoes. Your clothes would be washed automatically. That's why Hashem gave the Torah in the desert. Yankee Taub, I saw, he explains it this way, which is really beautifully. He says, had Hashem chosen to give the Torah on Wall Street, for example, he'd have to decide who to appoint to the board and who should retain a controlling interest in the actual Torah. Had he given it in Israel, the Holy Land of Israel, he'd have to decide, does he want to give it into the religious area of Jerusalem, of Yerushalayim, or does he want to give it in the mystical city of Sfat, or in high-tech Tel Aviv, or maybe even a kibbutz? God did not want any shareholders in Torah. There was no corporate structures, there was no political context. In fact, there was no context whatsoever. It was a desert. It was just the Jews and Torah. And we think about it, wouldn't it have been great to stay in the desert? But what happened? As soon as Hashem was sure that we really understood the message, that we understood that Torah as it stands is not a product of a specific time period in history, in particular age. It's not a specific environment. It's not a cultural situation that is pinpointed to one point in history. It belongs absolutely, unequivocally, to each and every single Jew. It's a morasha, it's an inheritance. And then at that point, Hashem sent us to the cities, and He sent us to the various towns of the world, and to the various universities, and to the farms and the marketplaces, and to the office buildings. And He charged us. I've done my bit. Now you do yours. You make Torah relevant in all of those places and in all of those contexts. Once a year, we revisit the Torah that was given in Har Sinai. But that's one of the reasons it was absolutely beautiful, which really puts a completely different twist on that famous question. Another insight I saw from one of the old Klosenberger Rebbes is something beautiful. He asks, when a person gives someone a gift, the quality of the wrapping paper and all the other bits around it, whether it's the ribbon or the little bow that's tied on top, is inversely proportional to the value of the gift itself. If you think about the last time you gave someone you love a diamond, a beautiful necklace, a beautiful brooch, sometimes a truly valuable gift speaks for itself. And the same too with the amount of spice that a dish of food needs is inversely proportional to the quality of the food itself. Why is Torah such an incredible gift? Because there's no trappings when it came to Torah. The Torah was given in the wilderness. There was nothing there. And it's a gift that's accessible to all. And what a gift. What a gift towards the end of the Torah that we're told, the place and the source that we learn to write a Sefer Torah. The Torah tells us you should write down this song. Why is the Torah compared to a song? So the famous Chief Rabbi Herzog said something so wonderful. He said, in virtually all fields of study, a person who's uninitiated, a person who's not familiar with that particular discipline, won't derive any pleasure from hearing a theory or an insight concerning that field of study. If you have a quantum mechanics professor who comes up with this novel idea, which is going to change that whole ideology of quantum physics, he might get very excited about it, and maybe other professors would as well. But to the average Joe and layman on the street, it's not going to move them at all. It's not the case with music. When you have a beautiful concerto, when you have Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, when you have any of the great music that comes along and is played, it doesn't make a difference if you are the concert master. It doesn't make a difference if you're in the orchestra or you're even in the audience. There's something you can get out of it. Music stirs the soul. And there's something in there that everybody on any level, whether you're a man, a woman, or a child, can enjoy. Everybody relates to music. Herzog said that is why the Torah is called a song. Because on the one hand, you can be the greatest Torah sage, studied for 80 years, and you can be a little boy or girl who's going to a Jewish school or cheder for the first time at 3, 4, 5 years old. And you can open the same book that we received 3,332 years ago and read those first words of Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim et haaretz, that in the very beginning, Hashem created the heaven and earth. And it doesn't matter where you are and what age you are, everybody can gain from it. Every person on his own level can have an appreciation for Torah. And that is why, aptly speaking, the Torah refers to it itself as a song. The beautiful music and songs that we usually sing on Shavuot are not going to be heard in our beautiful shul this year. Most shuls are still going to be shut. But we can sing them from our own home. We can turn our homes into shuls. We can sing the song of Torah and dedicate ourselves to this incredible gift that was given in a desert, telling us this beautiful idea that it applies unequivocally to each and every single Jew in the timeline of Jewish history, equally, without any exception. It's our morasha, it's our inheritance. Chag Shavuot Sameach, Chag Sameach.